Hey guys, it's Steph. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about Disney's biggest mistake, dropping the EU, and how it kind of led to what we've got now. So here I am, hologramming into the Millennium Falcon. Look around. And you can hear BB-8 behind me. I miss R2. And I'll say it again, I miss R2. Anyway, so get ready for a discussion, and let's have some fun. Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you know in the introduction, today we're going to talk about Disney's biggest mistake, dumping the EU. I was wandering around YouTube the last couple of days, and I found a couple of fan trailers for the EU that one is mind-blowing. The other is interesting only in the kind of story that was being told. And to me, it just shows the biggest mistake Disney made, Lucasfilm was made, is dumping the EU, and I'll tell you why. These characters, and there are dozens and dozens of titles. These characters are fascinating. Jason Solo is a great character. I mean, he really, really is. Jaina Solo is a phenomenal female character. Why wouldn't you want to expand on that story? Mara Jade. On and on and on and on. Disney made a mistake. There were, and I've said this before, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of titles that could have easily been adapted to animation, to live action. In fact, if they had gone with an animated Heir to the Empire series, animated Dark Empire, and then gone on following the Solo twins, their little brother, and Ben Skywalker, live action, and you could have had 30 years later Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill in it. The parents, the mentors, the passing of the baton of the legacy to this younger generation, and you would not have lost the integrity of the story. But here we are with Disney again going back to the OT, because they don't have any creativity at all, trying to rewrite history with their poor novelists, and no one really having an idea or a comprehension of how to set up a timeline. There was a timeline in the EU. You got Pabsy Hidalgo bitching last year that the EU was so convoluted. Really? You want to know what convoluted is, Pabs? Here's what convoluted is. Convoluted is watching The Force Awakens and getting a completely different fucking story from the novelists. Before that, nothing made sense. And after The Force Awakens, nothing fucking even made sense. Worse. This is part of the reason why people are so pissed off. The integrity of the saga, integrity of the Skywalker story is gone because you people were so fucking hubris-filled, so arrogant that you could not do what you were supposed to do. It was beyond your beyond to follow what Lucas had set out. Granted, he wanted to go in a different place. I'm not sure if I would agree with that. With the EU being so popular, you could have easily talked him into kind of not doing that. I think, or coming up with a compromise, because the characters were so set by the time the 30-year mark hit, the 40-year mark, that what Disney did, what was allowed to happen, is untenable. This is why we're getting the Galaxy of Adventures with, on YouTube for 3 to 5 year olds. Kathleen Kennedy's monumental decision to sell, to sell the rights to the OT films, kills the streaming service, because who's really gonna want to watch the shit Disney's made? Who? There's that. So this is why we get Galaxy of Adventure. With the soundtrack and the actors from the original trilogy sounding the voices. Okay. At least there's that. Of course, I noticed on Twitter, Mark Hamill said he didn't realize they were doing this. That was interesting to me. Lack of communication. Good job, guys. So there's that. You've got the hubris of Paula Hidalgo, the troll that is Carrie Hart, and her other flying monkeys, basically saying they could do a better job telling the Star Wars story than George Lucas and everybody he brought in. This is why hubris is. This is why they fail. All right, and then getting upset when we got mad at them for doing what they did to Han, Leia, and Luke. It's okay to admit we made a mistake. It's okay to admit maybe we were too heavy-handed. Maybe we should have followed the EU, had George come in, at least do a flavor of what he wanted to do, and I think that's what JJ was trying to do. But again, we go to the other mistake of basically bringing JJ and a very tired Larry Kasdan in to write a half-assed script in 6 months for TFA. TFA is mediocre at best. It is not a great Star Wars movie. There's no rhyme or reason for it. It was a good basis. I mean, it looks like a plot out. When I look at it now, in hindsight, it looks like a plot outline that should have been filled in. Okay? But when you've only got 6 months to write a film script for a movie the size and scope of a Star Wars Skywalker Saga film, when it should take 2 years, that should scare the shit out of anybody involved. But it didn't, did it? And, it was successful because Chewie were home. I mean, the moment people saw Harrison Ford, everyone's like, yay! And that's why people went to it. They went to it, because there was nostalgia for that. There was something about it that was timeless in those instances. But we didn't get any real reason why Han lost Falcon. We never got an explanation. We got a bullshit story that absolutely made no fucking sense because it's poorly written. It was mediocre, and it didn't fit the character. Okay? It's like, did you guys ever think, how would this happen? Well, we didn't have time. No, you didn't have time. Kathleen Kennedy, Bob Iger, that's your fault. You should have thought instead of being in such a fucking hurry. But no, you were in a hurry, and this is what we got. All right, back to the EU. When you have dozens and dozens and dozens of novels from the Old Republic to the Yazin Vong and the fall of Jason Solo and the rise of Darth Caedus and all that, what a great treasure trove of stories. I know, let's rewrite it out because it's too convoluted. This is the lack of a thought that is prevalent now, not just with Star Wars and Lucasfilm, but in Hollywood in general. Okay? Talented people aren't allowed to work and tell stories because of politics and reasons. We've got a Me Too movement who's gone way over the cliff. We've got, out of control perverts running around that are still out of control running around in Hollywood. We've got this lack of forethought in everything they do. And the blame is theirs. They're responsible. Here's the deal. This is capitalism. You all watched, you people in Hollywood, you misandrists at Lucasfilm, Kathleen, Carrie, Lin-Wen Brennan, and the rest of you hags, screaming rant and dye your hair weird shades of blue and run around chanting for choice. Oh, okay. So capitalists like me, and despite what you want to think, you do live in a capitalist system and you are responsible for creating a product. And we, as consumers, don't have to buy it. It's called competition. It's called capitalistic consumers in a capitalist society express their choice by choosing to do something or see something else. So this is why episode 9 will likely be a monumental failure. I don't think, as people in Hollywood that I talked to have said, it won't make $600 million, which is a total fucking fail for a Star Wars saga movie. Because here's the deal. How much is it costing to produce this? And there will be 2. How much is it going to cost to produce them? How much is it going to cost to market them? Okay, and all because the hubris running Disney and Lucasfilm, mostly Lucasfilm, thought they were smarter than George Lucas, smarter than the people that were there before them, and smarter than the fans. And they're not. And now they're going back to the OT with a galaxy of adventures. Scraping the OT trilogy and the prequels for everything they can find to get 3 to 5 year olds to come back. To what? So they can see, what you did to Han, Leia, and Luke later? No. If I was a parent, no. Okay? I don't want my girls growing up hating men. Sorry. I don't want my boys growing up feeling inferior because they're boys. And that's another big mistake that you're selling. Okay? But the biggest mistake you made was throwing away the EU. And everything else that came with it compiled that mistake. Your choice. And you effed up. Us, we don't have to buy it. And it looks to me like we aren't. So this is Steph talking about the EU and the biggest mistake Lucasfilm made and Disney by allowing it to happen, trashing the EU. What I wouldn't give to see Jason Solo, Jana Solo, Ben Skywalker, Anakin Solo, and Mara Jade and the rest of the gang. Okay, just watch the trailers I left in the description. Oh, and Craig's fundraiser's there too. And just see. There's one remarkable thing. I like the idea of the story where Isolde comes back. Prince Isolde, do you remember him? And it's after the fall of Jason Solo. And it's not well acted on the guy's part playing Jason, but he kind of looks what I would think that the kid would look. He's still not a Sith. His eyes need to be red. But still, it's interesting. It's very interesting. So watch all 3 of those videos. Give to Craig when you can. Steph signing out. See you around the galaxy. So that's the video, and I hope you all liked it. I want to thank you for coming by. And feel free to subscribe, hit the bell for more content, hit the like button, share away. We share away here. We do this out of love of Star Wars and what George Lucas created. And that's why we're here. And remember, if you haven't given to Craig's fundraiser, please do it. It's Steph signing out. See you around the galaxy. And somebody shut that damn droid off.